connect with what was said before. What we are talking about today is mainly really the difference between a top-down and bottom-up approach. And one of the very first and important goals of Freifunk, which was founded back in 2002, is actually to enable people to build their own wireless community networks in their local districts, villages, and regions to provide local services for themselves, but also to provide access to the internet. And I don't know how to stress it the right way, what actually makes the difference between whether you are going top-down or bottom-up, but I have selected a slide which I want to show you. So you see, even from the distance, I hope, some pink and some yellow access points distributed in the city of Berlin. The pink ones are the public Wi-Fi initiative of the city of Berlin. And I think this is exactly what will happen with the European initiative. So this is the very center of Berlin, the touristy and economically interesting part of the city. And here you can see what you would maybe call banlieues. In Berlin it's not really the same. But actually this is the area where the people are living. And all the yellow dots here are access points that were set up by the citizens themselves. Because there's no commercial or areas of commercial interest here, neither is it for tourists. So what makes a big difference is that people can actually empower themselves, buy a cheap off-the-shelf access point, install software, and provide internet access or access to the local community network themselves. So this is exactly what Leandro also stressed, but I can only repeat it because I think it's really, really important. And yes, I want to show you a short movie, and I hope you will hear the audio.
Hi, I'm Lisa, and I'm a Freifunk user. I want to tell you about Freifunk, which is not just about free internet access, but a whole lot more. Together we are building an open and community-controlled wireless network that connects you with neighbors and can't be shut off by a single source. My Freifunk router runs free software based on OpenWRT. My router connects with other routers from window to window, roof to roof. Several small connections give rise to a large and decentralized mesh network where data runs from node to node. I also choose to share my internet connection so others on the local network can use it. A special tool routes data traffic, connecting me to the whole community so there is less liability and risk for sharing. Join us so that we can all have access to a free and open wireless community network. Together we can use our network to surf, share, and communicate. Attend a Freifunk meeting, start your own network, and talk to others about Freifunk. Join the movement and free yourself wirelessly. Connect with Freifunk.
Okay. So we started this initiative in 2002. And the thing was that in Germany, as you may know, we had big troubles with the secondary liability issues, the so-called Störerhaftung. And as you could see on the video, this tunneling, the Umleitung, the solution to solve the secondary liability issues was that we started to provide VPN tunnels to take the responsibilities from the users who were threatened by the legislation that sharing their internet would cause problems to them when other people would do illegal stuff, even though they were actually providers and would need provider privileges. But when we started to solve this issue by just taking the responsibilities from the people who were setting up their own wireless community network nodes, what happened? And here you can see what happened. This is like, this has been the 10 years or almost the long time back to 2002 when we started. And from then on until today, we see a massive increase of the distribution of Freifunk nodes all over Germany. So this is almost 50,000 nodes by today. And if the growth continues, you can imagine how this may look like. And another important thing is that this is a map of Germany. And I'm sorry, I'm sure you cannot really see a lot. And if we were on the internet, I could zoom this map. But I hope that you see all these pink dots all over Germany. And these are all these 50,000 access points that I just showed you in the statistics, which are now distributed all over Germany. And it's not only in rural areas or in cities, it's everywhere. It's in every village, in every city, everywhere. I'm sorry for swapping. So here's a more detailed view, but it just practically shows the same. What you see is a map, and I think, as you can tell from the colors, the green is more like in the countryside. And you will find dots all over. Yeah, and this is another example I wanted to show to you. It's the city of Aachen. It's a small town not far away from here. It's in the very west of Germany. They have 2,000 access points in their own city. And here you see a typical setup of a mesh network in a neighborhood. Some streets, some access points, and every access point is connected to the other access point. And the software is doing this itself. So what the people have to do is just to flash a very cheap router. It's between 20 to 50 euros. They download the free software from the internet. They flash their router. They set it up and put it somewhere on the Windows shelf. And then you have this network. And what I wanted to show you on this picture is that it's an initiative that is shared. I know that you cannot read it, but I will read it for you. It is shared between local businesses, like here's a pizza store, a bar, cafes and everything, but also private people or other entities from the city who are all setting up their nodes, and the pink dots are the people who are the users in the neighborhood who are using it. A top-down initiative will never reach that density. And that's a very important point I want to make here. Because if people in this neighborhood will find out they want to have Wi-Fi in their neighborhood, all they have to do is just spend 20 to 50 euros, flash the software, set it up, and then they have it for themselves. If you are trying to do this top-down, it will take centuries and it will never happen. So to make my summary here, what are the biggest problems we have faced in the past? One thing is, of course, that Wi-Fi itself is using a very bad frequency, and we have a really lack of bandwidth, and in the mesh network sometimes bad latency because of too many hops. You have the obstacles of 802.11. Sometimes in a community or bottom-up network, you have a lack of organization and a very loose community structure. But this is, I think, why we are here. The legal and regulatory uncertainty, like secondary liability. Do we really require passwords? What does it mean if we have to authenticate? Who will organize this? And why should I, when I connect to the internet, be identified as an individual, even though I may not do? I think it's unnecessary and really complex in terms of technology. Then, of course, if you set up an unstructured bottom-up grassroots network, you will face a huge variability in link quality and performance. But once again, it's their people's own network. If they want to improve it, they can fix it by themselves without having to wait for a technician or somebody else. We don't have monitoring in terms of quality of service, which in general is a complicated matter in wireless communication. And sometimes you may face unreliable private engagement of individuals. And also there's still a lack of relevant decentralized local content and service within the intranet that we are forming. But so this is a very honest view on the problems we are facing. But still, even if we talk about unreliable private engagement of individuals, the 50,000 access points that I just showed you are those who are up and running and not the ones that are not working. So this was what I wanted to show you from Freifunk. Thank you.